how to crack this exam, how to do it. In spite of the difficulty, how can you ensure that you give your best? How can you do a better structured preparation? And how can you ensure that you come out with flying colors? Does it mean that this exam is difficult? Yes, it is difficult. Does it mean that this exam has an absolute level of difficulty? I would say this exam is difficult because of its relative difficulty, which is because there are a lot of people to give this exam. Only about 180 people become the IAS, or about 800 people become civil servants. However, absolute wise, this exam is not very difficult. This exam does not have very high level of questions, which you normally, for example, associate with, let's say, rocket science, which you would associate with, for example, I gave the exam of IIT JEE. IIT JEE was a difficult exam. You need to have a lot of mathematical skills from physics, chemistry, biology. Similarly, economics by itself is a technical subject, and acing that can be a tricky affair. It can be a difficult affair. It is an absolute wise, it may be a difficult subject. UPSC absolute wise is not a very difficult subject. There are about seven papers in this exam. There's about, I'll tell you briefly that there are 3 rounds of examination. The first round is prelims. Prelims basically asks 2 things: 100 marks questions related to GS, which is general studies, and 100 marks of CSAT. CSAT is generally what you call as a mental ability test. It is a test related to basic mathematics, very basic mathematics, more of problem solving skills, and little bit of your linguistic and test of English. This paper is not very difficult, and you just need to qualify in it. However, it is the first paper, the paper on GS, that really makes the difference. And roughly in this exam, you need to get about 100 marks out of 200 to be in that top 15,000. After prelims comes the mains examination. Mains examination is made up of 9 papers, 2 of which are qualifying. One is English, the other is a regional paper. For me, it was Hindi. For others, it can be Marathi, it can be Assamese, or whatever. The remaining, these 2 papers are only qualifying in nature. The remaining 7 papers makes up the real difference. There's 1 paper on essay. There are 4 papers on GS. GS is again general studies. There are 2 papers on your own optional subject. An optional subject is any subject that you decide to pick up to UPSC examination. It can be anything. For me, for example, it was economics. I could have chosen electrical engineering instead. I could have chosen chemistry. I could have chosen physics. I could have chosen mathematics. I could have chosen anthropology, geography, public administration, anything. For example, let's say, because you're a student of economics, maybe for many of you, economics can be an option that you choose for. You could even choose anthropology, geography, public administration, political science, depending on your convenience. After this round of mains, which is basically a subjective round of examination, and as I was saying before, the questions are not very difficult. For example, the paper on essay, yes, the final paper is that of essay, about 250 marks. You write 2 essays. Essay, for example, is not a very difficult paper. You may be asked about, let's say, the power of social media, for example, or you may be asked about the Russia-Ukraine crisis. You may be asked about a philosophical quote that you have to explain in your own words. Now, that is not something that you would really call as very difficult. That is something that each of us as a layman is expected to do. And in UPSC, you are expected to write your own understanding, your own expression of the topic that is mentioned. So after mains, made up of about 7 real papers and 2 qualifying papers, 7 real papers of 250 marks each, you come for the interview. Interviews of 275 marks. Interview basically tests your personality. And as we know, basically personality is about how confidently you can put your words, how much clarity you have, how much, how much clear are you with your concepts, what decision making you have, abilities you have, etc. Now the question is, some of you, I'm sure, would be in a very primitive stage, would be thinking that, चलो अब ये तो सोच लिए कि IAS बनना है या UPSC क्रैक करना है, but how to do it? अभी start कैसे करें? तो start ऐसे करना है कि the moment you have started thinking about this, one, go on the website of UPSC and look for the syllabus of UPSC to understand in greater detail क्या ये एग्जाम है, किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस, किस टाइप का उसमें डिमांड रहता है, what is the basic questions of last few years. Look at that. Second, start reading newspapers. This is the stage 0 of preparation. Go for the syllabus, start reading the newspapers, and start looking for, the basic, what is UPSC, what is IAS on the internet. Start searching for it. You'll have a lot of sessions of toppers. You'll have, I'm an old topper now. It's been 4 years, 5 years, and I don't remember a lot of things, frankly speaking. Some of the ideas that I may be speaking may have changed in the past 4 or 5 years, but there'll be new toppers, there'll be new websites. There are new websites, for example, insightsonindia.com, isbaba.com. They'll share you many things in greater detail. And you will start to develop the ability of cracking this examination in a more organized way. So that is stage 0 of preparation. Stage 1 of preparation is reading your basic NCERT books that you might have studied from class 6 onwards. Class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the basic NCERT books related to geography, related to history, related to political science. Start reading these books. After you've done stage 1 of preparation, comes the stage 2 of preparation. Stage 2 of preparation is where you read the more prescribed books. For example, you get Lakshmikant for political science, you get Spectrum for history, you get for geography, you have books like Majid Hussain. So your stage 1 or 2 of preparation is going for the standard books. Stage 3 of the preparation is where you become more nuanced, and then you start giving the test series, the prelims test series, the mains test series. You start expanding the coverage of your literature. You start making your own notes, and you start, assessing yourselves in a better way. After stage 3 of preparation is the stage 4 of preparation, which is basically about more and more revision. This exam requires you to be familiar with a lot of things. And familiarity can come by revision, by reading things again and again, because it also requires elements of memory. It also requires element of memorizing. And you can do that only after you have read it a lot of times. For example, I'll tell you, I've read books on the standard books that I've talked about for about 5 times, 6 times. And only after then I gathered the fluency to do well in that. So this is the stage 4 of preparation. Yes, in stage 3 and 4 of the preparation, you also study your optional paper. For me, it was a new paper, so I had to start from the scratch, economics. For you, it might very well be the paper that you've already aced. So you could choose to do it later. But for somebody, if you're taking a new optional, you'll have to start at an earlier stage. And then finally, stage 5 of the preparation is where you sum it all up, connect the dots, make your intuitions better for prelims, make your answer writing abilities better, make your personality more attuned for UPSC preparation, and basically become a pro in this preparation, right? So this is all 5 stages of preparation. And this is where you will have to move. You'll have to, gradually become better and better in this. Again, I'll say this examination is not difficult in absolute terms. It does not mean that only an IITian or only a student of Delhi School of Economics, or only a student of AIMS, or only a student of any other college, any other top college would do it. Any person can do well in this, provided you do your basics right, provided you do your revision right, your preparation right, provided you have a very structured way, provided you have a very efficient way of preparation, and you can sum it all up well. This examination is about 7 papers in mains, 1 paper in prelims, 1 real paper in prelims, and about interview. It encompasses a lot of things. And you don't require just to be good in 1 paper. You require to be good in all of them. And that is where the element of consistency comes. The element of hard work comes. Does it require hard work? I'm sure one of the questions is going to be how many hours you're going to study. And the answer to that question is as much as you can. Because absolute wise, this exam is not difficult, but relative wise, this exam is difficult. You're talking about 10 lakh people. 10 lakh people will be attending this examination, or 5 lakh people will be actually sitting for this examination. Yes, in those 5 lakh people, not every one of them is going to be a serious aspirant, but we expect about 50,000 people or 20,000, 25,000 people to be serious aspirants. You need to be competing in front of them. And to compete in front of them, you have to study hard as much as you can. You have to practice as much as you can. You have to expand your daily knowledge as much as you can. There is a guidebook which helps you to study, to help you to study, or which helps you to say what is important, which is the syllabus. The syllabus helps you to understand कि चलो ये पूछना है, पॉलिटिकल साइंस में ये पढ़ना है, ज्योग्राफी में ये पढ़ना है, ये बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स इसमें दिए हुए हैं. Which helps you to make your preparation organized. Test series are there to help you make your preparation more organized. Coaching facilities are there to help your preparation more organized. I did not join any coaching. I have joined coaching only for the test series and interview programs. Does not again mean that coaching is required or is not required for your UPSC preparation, but coaching may be an additional help for your preparation. And you can take help of it. There are good coaching facilities available. Usually you also require the help of study groups, because this preparation, is more like a marathon. To be frank, it requires preparation of at least 2 years. At least 2 years. And there are people who have done well in about 1 year of preparation as well. But in my understanding, you require preparation of 2 years. And if you do the basics right, if you gradually become pro in it, there's no reason why you'll not ace this examination.